Princess Diana's life and death have remained a focal point of global fascination and public scrutiny, often overshadowing even the highest echelons of British royal life. Diana, once regarded as the people's princess, captivated the hearts of millions with her compassion, grace, and unrivaled dedication to charitable causes. Her untimely death in 1997, coupled with the controversies that arose during her marriage to Prince Charles, cast a long and lasting shadow over the British royal family, with the ramifications continuing to reverberate throughout the years. In the wake of her tragic passing, the monarchy found itself grappling with the public's perception of its role in her suffering and the subsequent fallout, particularly concerning the ongoing tension between her sons, Prince William and Prince Harry. Early bonds and a shared commitment to royal life. In the early years of their marriages, the relationship between Kate Middleton and Prince Harry was marked by warmth and camaraderie. Both were relatively new to the royal spotlight and, as such, formed a bond based on mutual support and understanding. Harry and Kate's connection was one that reflected the shared experience of living under the royal microscope, while trying to maintain a sense of personal normalcy. In fact, it was often remarked that Kate and Harry enjoyed a special friendship that allowed them to confide in one another and navigate the pressures of public life together. Alongside Prince William, the three of them were frequently seen together at royal engagements, attending events and supporting charitable causes. One notable initiative was Heads Together, a mental health campaign launched by the trio in 2016. The campaign sought to reduce the stigma surrounding mental health and encourage open discussions about mental well-being. Their work together was widely celebrated, and the public affectionately dubbed them the Royal Trio. The bond between Kate and Harry was seen as a vital part of the family dynamic, particularly as they navigated their roles as younger members of the royal family. The strain begins. A shift in family dynamics. However, as time went on, the relationship between Harry and the rest of the family began to shift. The introduction of Meghan Markle into the royal fold marked the beginning of a new chapter, one that would ultimately challenge the status quo. Harry's relationship with Meghan, whom he married in 2018, appeared to add a layer of complexity to his family ties. While Harry's relationship with Kate had once been marked by easy camaraderie, his bond with William and Kate became increasingly strained as Harry and Meghan's public behaviour began to diverge from the royal norms that had been established over centuries. One of the most significant differences between the two couples was their approach to public life. William and Kate were firm believers in the traditional values of royal duty, adhering to the long-established protocols that dictated the royal family's conduct. They were careful in their interactions with the media, always maintaining a respectful distance and a professional demeanour. Their focus was on fulfilling their royal obligations, and they often kept their personal lives private, letting their public appearances and charitable work speak for themselves. In contrast, Harry and Meghan sought a more hands-on approach to their public image. They were far more open about their personal lives and frequently engaged with the media on their own terms. Their decision to break away from traditional royal expectations was seen as a bold move, one that signalled their desire to redefine what it meant to be a modern royal. While their approach was initially met with public enthusiasm, particularly from younger generations who admired their willingness to challenge tradition, it also sparked tension within the royal family. For William and Kate, who had always adhered to the monarchy's sacred traditions, Harry and Meghan's approach felt like a departure from the unity the royal family had always tried to project. The breaking point? Megxit and the public fallout. The tension between Harry, Meghan and the rest of the royal family reached a breaking point in 2020 when the couple announced their decision to step back from their roles as senior members of the royal family. The announcement, which was dubbed Megxit, shocked the world. It was the first time in modern history that prominent members of the royal family had chosen to voluntarily step away from their official duties. Harry and Meghan's decision to distance themselves from the monarchy was not only a personal one, but also a public declaration of their desire to live their lives on their own terms, outside the constraints of royal protocol. For Kate, the announcement of Megxit marked the beginning of a difficult period. The departure of Harry and Meghan meant that more of the royal duties would fall to William and Kate, placing additional pressure on them to maintain the monarchy's visibility and stability. For Kate, the shift was not just professional, but personal. The once close bond she shared with Harry was now fractured, and the emotional toll was evident. Sources close to the royal family reported that Kate was distressed by the deepening rift between her husband and his brother, feeling caught in the middle of a family conflict she never anticipated. Kate had always prided herself on her ability to maintain a graceful presence, balancing her royal duties with her personal life and family responsibilities. But the growing divide between the Sussexes and the Cambridges added complexity to an already demanding role. Kate, who had often served as a peacemaker within the family, found herself in a position where her efforts to reconcile the brothers were met with increasing resistance. Her attempts to mediate between Harry and William proved difficult, as the brothers' relationship had become increasingly fraught with tension. The Oprah interview, a public revelation of strain. The situation between Harry and his family reached new heights of public tension in 2021 with the release of Harry and Meghan's tell-all interview with Oprah Winfrey. In the interview, the couple made a series of explosive claims about their time within the royal family, including allegations of racism within the institution and claims that they had been unsupported during Meghan's struggles with mental health. The interview sent shockwaves through the public and the royal family, with the revelations adding further strain to the already fragile relationships within the family. One of the most significant moments in the interview was Meghan's account of a disagreement with Kate over bridesmaid dresses ahead of Meghan's wedding to Harry. Meghan revealed that a confrontation between the two women had left her in tears, although she also clarified that Kate had apologised and the two had reconciled. Nonetheless, the revelation placed Kate under intense scrutiny as the public dissected every detail of the incident. For someone who had worked tirelessly to maintain a dignified and professional image, the interview's revelations were difficult to navigate. The accusations of tension between Kate and Meghan only deepened the rift within the family, making the possibility of reconciliation seem increasingly distant. The future of the monarchy, uncertainty and transformation. As the royal family continues to navigate these complex dynamics, the future of the monarchy remains uncertain. The tensions within the family, particularly between Harry and William, have highlighted the difficulties that arise when tradition and modernisation collide. As the institution faces an increasingly complex world, it must find a way to balance the demands of modernity with the weight of its history. Kate's role in this future is likely to be pivotal. As the next Queen Consort, her ability to adapt to the changing times while preserving the monarchy's traditions will be essential in guiding the royal family through the inevitable transitions that lie ahead. The coming years will undoubtedly test her resilience, but if her past actions are any indication, Kate is more than capable of rising to the challenge. In conclusion, the rift between Harry, William and Kate is not merely a family dispute. It is a reflection of the broader challenges facing the British royal family as it adapts to the modern world. The monarchy's future hinges on its ability to evolve while maintaining the stability and tradition that have been its hallmark for centuries. As this complex and evolving story unfolds, the world watches closely, aware that the decisions made today will shape the future of the British monarchy for generations to come. Diana's untimely death, a nation in mourning. Despite the public's sympathy for Diana, her personal struggles continued, and the constant media intrusion only made matters worse. The media, which had been an essential part of her rise to fame, became one of her greatest enemies. Her relationship with the paparazzi, who were constantly trailing her every move, reached a tipping point in the months leading up to her death. On the night of August 31st, 1997, Diana's life was tragically cut short in a car accident in Paris, She had been in the car with her companion, Dodi Al-Fayed, and their driver, Henri Paul, who lost control of the vehicle as they tried to escape the relentless pursuit of the paparazzi. The official explanation pointed to the driver's intoxication and the aggressive nature of the photographers, but many questioned whether the events of that night were truly an accident. The sudden and tragic nature of her death shocked the world, and public mourning for Diana was palpable. People from all walks of life gathered to express their grief, with flowers and messages of love flooding outside Buckingham Palace. For many, the loss of Diana represented the end of an era, one that had bridged the divide between royal tradition and modernity. She had redefined what it meant to be a royal in the 20th century, engaging in humanitarian work, advocating for AIDS awareness, and speaking out about causes that were often considered controversial at the time. Diana had become a symbol of compassion and a beacon of hope for those who felt voiceless. The conspiracy theories, a shadow over Diana's death. In the years following Diana's death, speculation about the true cause of the accident only intensified. Many people believed that the official narrative, that the crash was a result of a combination of the driver's negligence and the paparazzi's harassment, was too simplistic, even convenient. Several conspiracy theories emerged, suggesting that the British royal family or other powerful figures were involved in orchestrating Diana's death. These theories often linked her death to her growing independence, her relationship with Dodi Al-Fayed, and her increasing influence, which some argued was seen as a threat by those in power. One of the most vocal proponents of these theories was Mohammed Al-Fayed, Dodi's father, who accused the royal family and British intelligence services of being involved in the death of his son and Diana. Al-Fayed's claims included the assertion that Diana had been pregnant at the time of her death and that she had planned to marry Dodi, a move that allegedly would have enraged the royal family. Over the years, these conspiracy theories have been perpetuated by books, documentaries, and even court cases, despite the lack of concrete evidence to support any of the claims. The British public, many of whom had mourned Diana as one of their own, found themselves caught between the official explanation and the endless rumours that refused to die down. Charles's role and personal reflections. For King Charles, the death of his ex-wife left a profound impact on both his personal life and the public's perception of him. As the father of their two sons, Prince William and Prince Harry, Charles's relationship with Diana was and remains a deeply complicated subject. In recent years, Charles has spoken more openly about his regret over Diana's suffering during their marriage. In a private conversation that was later leaked to the media, Charles acknowledged that he had played a role in her unhappiness. He expressed regret over the difficulties she faced within the royal family and the emotional toll their tumultuous relationship took on her. Although Charles refrained from supporting the conspiracy theories that had circulated since Diana's death, his acknowledgement of the pain she endured was seen by some as an attempt to reconcile with the past. His comments, however, have not been without controversy. For some, his admission was viewed as a long overdue step in acknowledging his responsibility in the breakdown of his marriage to Diana, while others saw it as a mere attempt to rehabilitate his image and silence public criticism. The ongoing public fascination with Diana's life and death has only fueled the scrutiny of Charles, especially as he has ascended to the throne. His actions have, in some ways, been seen as an attempt to balance public expectations while also addressing his own personal history with Diana. A divided public response. The public's response to Charles's recent reflections on Diana's life and death has been equally divided. Some see his comments as an attempt to finally confront the past and acknowledge the pain his ex-wife endured. For many, this admission is a sign of growth and maturity, a recognition that the past cannot simply be swept under the rug. Others, however, view Charles's comments as an attempt to salvage his own reputation and improve public perception ahead of his reign. Critics argue that while Charles's reflections may be genuine, they fall short of addressing the larger, unresolved questions surrounding Diana's death. As the years have passed, Diana's legacy has only grown in significance, not just in Britain, but across the world. Her life and death remain a source of fascination, intrigue, and sadness. And her role in shaping the modern image of the monarchy cannot be understated. She was a royal who challenged tradition and transcended the boundaries of the institution. Diana's tragic demise, the conspiracy theories surrounding it, and the complex relationships within the royal family continue to haunt the monarchy, ensuring that her memory lives on, for better or worse. In the end, Diana's life and death are a reminder of the human cost of fame, the challenges of living under the public eye, and the deeply personal toll that public figures endure. Despite the passage of time, the questions surrounding her life and legacy remain unanswered, and the royal family, particularly King Charles and his sons, continue to grapple with their own roles in the narrative she left behind. The early days, the meeting of Charles and Camilla. The story of Charles and Camilla began long before the world knew of Diana. It was the early 1970s, and Prince Charles, still in the early stages of his royal life, was searching for something that he would later realise would be much harder to find than he imagined. On a breezy afternoon in 1970, during a polo match at Windsor Great Park, the Prince met Camilla Shand. What began as a casual meeting would set the stage for one of the most well-known love stories in royal history. As history records, it wasn't just a random encounter. There was a shared history between their families. Camilla, with her sharp wit and distinct sense of humour, was quick to break the ice by mentioning the affair between her great-grandmother and Charles's great-great-grandfather. This revelation, a small piece of royal gossip from the past, sparked a connection between them that would last for decades. Though they were introduced by a mutual friend, Lucia Santa Cruz, the specific circumstances of their first meeting seemed secondary to the undeniable chemistry they shared. Over time, the bond between Charles and Camilla grew deeper, their connection based not just on royal duty, but on shared experiences and mutual understanding. They found solace in one another, supporting each other through the ups and downs of their personal and public lives. However, this bond was soon tested by the demands of royal life, which would take Charles far away from Camilla. Camilla's marriage to Andrew Parker Bowles. In 1973, while Charles was sent off to serve in the Royal Navy, Camilla made a significant life choice. She married Andrew Parker Bowles, a decision that would complicate the relationship between her and Charles, as it created both personal and public challenges. The marriage, however, did not sever her ties with the prince. Their relationship remained strong enough that Charles would later become the godfather to Camilla's son Tom. Rumours abound that Charles, heartbroken by Camilla's marriage, attempted a last-minute intervention to stop the wedding. The idea of watching someone he loved deeply marry another was no doubt a source of pain for the prince. However, despite the separation, their bond never truly faded, and they continued to maintain a close relationship, albeit one that had to be kept largely private due to the restrictions and expectations placed on them by their respective roles. Charles and Diana. The early days. The early days of Charles and Diana's relationship were marked by awkwardness, charm, and a sense of innocence. Their first meeting took place at a pheasant hunt at Althorpe House in 1977, where Diana was just a teenager. At 16, Diana's lively personality left a lasting impression on the 28-year-old prince. Their connection, although formal and somewhat reserved, hinted at something significant. A year later, Diana attended Charles's 30th birthday celebration at Buckingham Palace, immersing herself in the grandeur of royal life. Yet, she remained a figure of youthful energy in a world that seemed far beyond her years. It was only a few years later that Charles and Diana's relationship began to evolve. In 1980, during a house party, Diana's compassionate nature shone through. Charles, still grieving the loss of Lord Mountbatten, found solace in Diana's kindness. Her ability to offer comfort and encouragement to Charles revealed a side of her that the prince had not fully appreciated before. This moment of connection seemed to bridge the gap between their worlds, setting the stage for what would become one of the most publicised royal relationships in history. The affair: Charles and Camilla's illicit relationship. As the marriage between Charles and Diana progressed, cracks began to show. Diana's suspicions grew stronger. The press, always watching and reporting on the smallest details, began to hint at the growing distance between the royal couple. Diana noticed subtle signs that her husband was emotionally distant. Frequent phone calls to Camilla and the clear affection Charles showed for her made it increasingly difficult for Diana to ignore the reality of the situation. The breaking point came when Diana discovered a personalised bracelet that Charles had commissioned for Camilla. Inscribed with their nicknames, G and F, the bracelet was a symbol of their long-standing connection. Diana, devastated by this discovery, confronted Charles, who did not deny the affair. Instead, he defended his relationship with Camilla, further deepening the betrayal Diana felt. The affair was not just a personal blow to Diana, but a public scandal that rocked the royal family. The revelation became a media sensation, drawing attention from all over the world. Diana, who had already been struggling with the intense public scrutiny, found herself caught in a web of betrayal, media frenzy, and public sympathy. Her pain was laid bare for all to see. Diana's revelations and the public fallout. In the early 1990s, Diana began to speak out about her struggles. In 1992, she cooperated with journalist Andrew Morton to write Diana. Her True Story, a book that exposed the deep emotional turmoil she had been enduring. In this book, Diana revealed the details of her marriage, her battle with bulimia, and the heartbreak of Charles's affair. The book was a bombshell, shifting the public's perception of the royal family and the monarchy itself. The affair between Charles and Camilla became even more public when the infamous Camillagate tapes were leaked in 1993. These private phone conversations between Charles and Camilla, in which they discussed their relationship in intimate detail, further exposed the depths of the affair. The scandal intensified the emotional toll on Diana, and, in a now infamous 1995 interview with the BBC, Diana revealed that there were 3 people in this marriage, referring to Charles's ongoing relationship with Camilla. The aftermath: divorce and the legacy of Diana. By 1992, Charles and Diana had separated, though their divorce was not finalised until 1996. Despite the separation, the emotional scars from their marriage continued to haunt Diana. The pressures from the monarchy, coupled with Diana's own revelations, led to an agreement where Diana retained her title as Princess of Wales, but was stripped of her Royal Highness status. Diana, despite her personal pain, remained a beloved figure. Her humanitarian efforts, her warmth, and her ongoing connection with the public ensured that she remained a key figure in royal life. In 1997, Diana's tragic death in a car crash cemented her status as the People's Princess. Her legacy of compassion and resilience lived on, continuing to inspire people around the world. Charles's relationship with Camilla continued through the years, and in 2005 they were married. Their relationship, long shrouded in scandal, finally found some degree of acceptance. Yet, the story of Charles, Diana and Camilla remains one of the most complex and poignant in modern royal history. A tale of love, duty and betrayal that continues to captivate those who seek to understand the depths of human emotion within the confines of royalty. A complex legacy. The love triangle between Charles, Diana and Camilla is not just a story of royal drama. It is a reflection of the complex intersection between personal desires, public duty, and the weight of tradition. It is a saga that has shaped the monarchy, the lives of the individuals involved, and the way in which the public perceives the royal family. Though Charles and Camilla's journey to the throne is now complete, the story of Diana, her tragic end, and the love that was lost continues to resonate in the hearts of millions. It serves as a poignant reminder of the human side of the royal family, the complexities of love, and the cost of duty in the eyes of the public. The royal love triangle may have concluded, but the story remains a timeless testament to the power of love, the consequences of betrayal, and the resilience of those who are caught in the delicate balance of duty and personal emotion.